Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. Thank you for downloading. And thank you for subscribing to the latest edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. I am your boy, 12 Kyle. Man, check this out. On this episode, we're going to have a little fun. I'm going to present to you something that I saw a couple of months ago on social media. There was this popular meme going around, and it talked about the things that Black people will judge other Black people for. Now, full disclosure, if you didn't know, I am Black. I know this is an audio medium, but for those who are watching on YouTube, thank you for watching. But yeah, in case you hadn't figured it out, I am Black. So again, this is meant in jest. But one thing I will say is that about Black people is that we like to have fun. We're a passionate group of people. We're not a monolith. That's for certain. But we are very forgiving people. And that's obvious based on our history in this country, given the fact that we endured over 400 years of slavery. But that's another subject for another day that we will come back to. Nonetheless, I saw this meme and it talked about the things that we, as Black folk will judge each other for. Now, we already judge everybody else, but we have a special set of judgment just for our own. And oftentimes it's quite comical. And every now and then when you see funny stuff, you got to bring it to the podcast. So I saw this meme. I was like, yo, this would be a great episode to talk about the things that we will judge you for, because we will judge you. Let's be clear. So Black folks and anybody else who's listening and watching, you don't have to be Black to necessarily watch or listen to this episode. But Black people in particular, I think you'll get a kick out of this. And these are in no particular order, but there are a couple of lists of things, and I'll go down this list. Number one, letting your kids act up in public. We will judge you. Be clear. And the reason being is that, that's always been frowned upon by us. You don't let your child go in public and act up. What I mean by that is, let's say you and little Johnny are in the store and you're Johnny's mom, and Johnny asks for some Fruit Loops. You say, no, Johnny, we're not getting any Fruit Loops. And Johnny proceeds to fall down in the store and throw a temper tantrum on the floor. Now, other races, they may come over and whisper to Johnny, hey, Johnny, don't do that. You're going to get put in timeout, pal. Don't do that, bud. Bud. Black folk, no, we don't do that. And if something like that happens, what will happen is we as Black people will judge you on how you react, also how you are letting your kids cut up in public. Because if you're Black, you may have heard this before, and I quote, when we go in this store, don't touch anything, don't ask for anything, don't move anything, don't ask for nothing, just be quiet and walk with me, close quote. That may sound familiar to some of you. For me, it sounds very familiar because my mom said that a lot. So yeah, it's one of those things where you don't want to do it. And, when you go in the store, or you not just in the store, but just in public in general, you can't cut up. You can't act a fool. One of the things about, Black people, as far as the level of pride that they take in their sense of community and their sense of family, is that you as a child are a representation of your parents. So not only are you a representation of yourself, but you're a representation of your parents, and you're also a representation of your family. So if you go in public and you misbehave, what we mean by act up, if you misbehave, then it's a problem, because it's a bad reflection on you, it's a bad reflection on your parents, and it's a bad reflection on your family. Now, if you're like me and you're from a small town or a small city, everybody knows your family. So, a common theme, excuse me, that would be asked is, who are your people? I would get that a lot because people want to know, especially in my hometown, they want to know who you're related to. Because here's the thing, the black folks in the town know each other. And if they don't know you by face, they definitely know your name. So if you had a name and they knew the name, they could probably trace it back to your parents or grandparents or aunties and uncles or whomever. So how you acted in public mattered because, again, it was a reflection not just on you, not just on your mom and your dad or your grandmother or grandfather, but your entire family. So we will judge you for letting your kids act up in public. Number 2, we will judge you if you clap on the 1 and the 3. Now, this one's a little complicated because there's a funny but racial trope in there, meaning that there's a sentiment that all black people have rhythm. I'm here to tell you, we all don't. And there's a sentiment that all black people can dance. I'm here to tell you, we all can't. Your boy, I can do both. But I know quite a few black people who can't do either. But we will judge you. Now, it's one thing to have rhythm and be able to dance, but it's another thing to be able to clap on the 1 and the 2. I mean, it's just following the beat. Like it's do mm, 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 mm. That's it. It's just that simple. To me, I think everybody has rhythm. I think what happens is that as we get older, we lose that because I think and I'll use white people as an example. If you see a small white toddler, that toddler didn't come into this world with no rhythm. The toddler learns rhythm by, sounds and motions. Everyone under the sound of my voice, everyone watching on YouTube learned the same song was their first song. And everybody had the same first song. And it was your ABCs. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. And I mean, like, that is a rhythm. You can hear and see the sound waves of what I just said. At least most of you can. But yes, you have to be able to clap on the 1. You can't clap on the 1 and the 3. You clap on the 2 and the 4. You can clap on the back end of the 2 and the 4, but you can't clap on the 1 and the 3. And so, yes, black people, we will judge you if you don't clap on the 2 and the 4. If you clap on the 1 and the 3, it's a problem. Number 3, we will judge you if you make your macaroni and cheese out of a box. That, my friends, will get you thrown out of any household. It will get your dish of macaroni thrown out right behind you. Mac and cheese is supposed to be made from scratch. Full disclosure, I've only made mac and cheese maybe 3 times in my life. And 2 of the times that I made it from the box. And you're not supposed to make it from the box. Now, fortunately enough for me, I only made it for myself. So this is when I was single and I just said, hey, let me try mac and cheese. And the thing that I have about the idea that I have about cooking is that if you just read the instructions, you can make a dish. It's just that simple, just reading the instructions. But it's a little bit more detailed than that. And cooking is also about a feel. It's about a mood. It's about a vibe. It's about what the extra stuff that you put into your food. And cooking from a box to make macaroni, you're not putting anything extra into it. I mean, like, you can put all the pepper you want into it. It's not going to taste any better. So yeah, we will judge you from if you're not making your mac and cheese from scratch. If you're going straight from the box of Kraft macaroni and cheese, yeah, you will get judged. You will get judged. You may, in some instances, get cussed out, and in some instances, your food won't be eaten. Well, I'll go out on a limb and say, in most instances, your food is not going to be eaten. So do with that whatever you will, but know this factor: we will judge you for making macaroni and cheese from the box. um, Speaking of food, number 4, failure to include salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder on any piece of meat. You have to season your food. We will judge you if you do not season your meat. Meat must be seasoned at all times. Now, I will say this much: how much seasoning you put on meat is debatable. I don't think that you have to flood it and drown it in seasoning, but you do need to have it seasoned, because if it's not seasoned, meat can taste pretty bland. Pause. But yeah, you just can't do it like that. It does require some seasoning, and Black folk are known for their seasoning of many things we're known for. It gets a little tricky because sometimes, a lot of times, depending on the food that you're making, um, the seasoning can be higher in cholesterol, which we don't want to have, because if it's higher in cholesterol, that means it can raise your cholesterol and subsequently your blood pressure. And as Black folks, as not all of us, but a lot of us, um, deal with stress, hypertension, mental health, a lot of things that raises our stress level, and adding to our cholesterol boosts that, and subsequently some suffer from heart disease and things of that nature, kidney disease, the whole nine. So there's a domino effect when it comes to how you make your food. So here's the thing: there's ways that you can season your food and it still tastes good without drowning it in seasoning, or without giving yourself high blood pressure. Take a little time to research that as far as how you should cook your food. That being said, please understand, we will judge you if you do not season any type of meat. And what I mean by season, you need to put on salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, some type of seasoning, Old Bay, whatever. But we will judge you if you don't do that. Again, these are in no particular order. Number 5, in the game of spades, if you misbid, we will judge you. Misbidding in spades is a cardinal sin, right? For those of us who play spades, you have to be able to bid, because your ability or lack thereof can cost you a game. And obviously, if you're playing spades, you're playing to win, right? But you got to be able to bid, and misbidding in spades is a no. If you can't play spades, if you can't bid in spades, secretly, we will judge you. And I hate to be like that, but I'm being honest, because like, there are very few people that I know that can't play spades. And anytime you run across a Black person that can't play spades, it's like, and the women clutch their pearls. I mean, like, come on, man. What have you done with your life? Now, there's some that can't play hearts or tunk or dominoes. Different story. But spades, come on, man. That's it. Now, I'm someone who is not much of a card player. I don't play, gin rummy. I don't play solitaire, but I know how to play spades. In fact, my wife and I, Sharice and I, are undefeated. We have never lost a spades game. So anybody that wants some smoke, come get it. But you better know how to bid, because if not, we will judge you. Number 6, being bad at the electric slide or the wobble. Okay, before I get into this, let me explain what the electric slide and the wobble are. They are Black line dances. They're pretty popular, and if you're at any type of club any type of function, any type of house party, any type of event where there's a multitude of black people, the Electric Slide song and the Wobble song will be played, and people will flood the dance floor. And if you don't know how to electric slide, or if you don't know how to wobble, get off the dance floor. I am someone who can wobble and I can electric slide. I just don't. I don't do line dances. I can't stand them. In fact, when the line dance portion of a DJ set comes on, I get off the dance floor because I don't wobble. I don't electric slide. Call me too cool, whatever you want to call me. Hey, that's not my steez. That's not how I get down. That's just never been me. No judgment, but it's just never been me. I will, however, say that if you can't electric slide or you can't wobble, your skills are bad, black people will judge you. Particularly if you're black, we will judge you. Number 7, acting like we don't know what's really going with you and your quote unquote little friend. This one's kind of tricky because, and it's also funny, because your quote unquote little friend has always been a funny thing to say. People, particularly younger people, will try to push past the idea that they're not really serious about this person, and this is just my little friend, or this is my friend. Okay. We're going to judge you because we know what's going on. We know that you guys secretly live together. But if you want to keep that to yourself and don't want to tell the family, okay, cool. We'll play along with you. But just know that we know what's going on with you and your little friend. We're just going to judge you. So keep that in mind. We will judge you if you continue to act like we don't know what's going on between you and your little friend. Number 8 will definitely get you judged by black people. If you're black and you don't know the proper response to God is good, come on, man. What are we talking about? What are we doing here? I mean, like, I could make a case that you could probably let people slide for some of these, but this one, number 8, you can't. If someone says God is good, it's a call and response, right? If someone said God is good, you have to respond. Like, there's a natural response to that phrase. And if you don't know the response to that phrase, and you're black, is probably a problem. And we will judge you for not knowing. And for those of you scoring at home, if you don't know the answer, the phrase goes, God is good. The response, all the time. And then they may respond back to you all the time, and you have to respond back, God is good. And the funny thing is, you don't even have to go to church every Sunday to know that. You should know that if you're black. But if you don't, we will judge you. Number 9. Again, these are in no particular order. Black men. If you have a black baby mama, but your wife is white, we will judge you. Hey, listen, I don't make the rules. I just follow. Personally, I don't do this, but I do know black people who will judge you, black man, if you're black, if your baby mom is black and your wife is white. Yeah, I get it. It's not 12 Kyle doesn't engage in that type of activity. But I've seen it happen. I've heard it happen. And, I guess it just kind of means like the elephant in the room is that black people, for the most part, and I can't speak for all, I'll just say a majority of black people, when we see other black people, we want to see them married to other black people. And I'm sure the same goes for white people. That when they see white people, they want to see them married to other white people. Not to say that they're going to be mad if they found somebody outside their race. I mean, personally, I don't care. But we would prefer, and when I say we, I say meaning I'm speaking as far as black people. For the most part, a lot of black people would prefer to see black people with other black people when it comes to marriage. So if you're a black man and you have a relationship or a situationship or whatever with this black woman and it produces a child, but it never produced a ring, and then the ring goes to a white woman, yeah, you're going to get judged. I mean, and again, these are jokes. So I'm sure there's somebody listening or in the comment section. I can't believe he said that. Come on, man. Relax, B. But yeah, we will judge you if you have the white wife and the black baby mama. Number 10, speaking of black and white, if you're a black person and you're the only black person in your group of friends, oh, you're definitely getting judged. Hands down. You should not be the black friend. Particularly in the social and racial climate that we're in currently at the time of this recording in 2024, you should never be the only black. And if they refer to you as the black guy, you're the only black. Or the black girl, you're the only black. No. Yeah, black folk will definitely judge you for that. Because we are such a people with a sense of community and sense of self and sense of awareness that if you don't have any, if you're a black person and you don't have any black friends, or if you're in a particular group of people and there aren't any other black people in that particular group, oh yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem. You can't be that can't happen. And here's the thing. More often than not, somebody black will pull you to the side and be like, hey. So take that how you want to take it. Number 11. We will judge you if you were my supervisor when we started at the job together. Let me say that again. We started at the job together, but now you're my supervisor. How did that happen? We're going to judge you for that. Being my supervisor when we started at the job together. That's not supposed to happen. That means one of us moved pretty quickly for whatever reason. It's simple. Doesn't really happen a lot. At least I haven't seen it. But if and when it happens, yeah, we will judge you for that. Number 12. Not knowing the words to "Can We Talk" by Tevin Campbell. If you're black and you don't know the words to "Can We Talk" by Tevin Campbell, it is a problem. You will be judged until from sun up to sundown. I promise you. That song is a staple. You don't even have to be a Tevin Campbell fan. Everybody knows the lyrics to that song. Even the most gangster of gangsters knows the lyrics to that song. Even the most hood of hood guys and gals know the words to that song. So how you come from that not knowing? Yeah, you're going to get judged. We will judge you for that. Number 13. Letting your dog in the kitchen or in a restaurant. We will judge you. I stand 10 toes down on that. I love animals. I grew up in a house. I had dogs. I actually had dogs who lived inside the house. I had dogs who lived outside the house. Our inside dogs, particularly when I was in high school and college, I mean, they knew the vibes. Like they knew, like, you don't go in the kitchen. You go over here, you can go everywhere, but you can't go in the kitchen. You don't go in the kitchen and you don't go in the bed. on the bed. You can go under the bed, but you can't go on the bed. But yeah, letting your dog in the kitchen, or you taking the dog to a restaurant? Nah, man. Nah, it's not happening. It's not happening. I understand that people can. There are restaurants where dogs can dine. I would prefer that I go someplace where your dog isn't nearby. Now, if we're outside and your dog is sitting outside, okay, cool. I got no problem with that. But no, I don't want to be at Ocean Air and your dog is sitting next to me. I can't even enjoy my steak because Sparky's looking at me. No thank you. But if you're black and you let your dog in the kitchen or you take your dog to a restaurant, we're going to judge you. Speaking of dogs, number 14, letting your dog lick your face. We will judge you, black people, if you let your dog lick you in your face. Again, I'm a guy who had plenty of dogs growing up. My dogs never licked me in my face because I don't play like that. And they knew I didn't play like that. Yeah, I would hug my dogs and I would pet them and I would feed them and love on them and everything. But licking in the face? No. Hell no. I had a friend who used to live down the street from me. Now, he wasn't black. His name was Alvin. Alvin's white. Alvin actually used to kiss his dog in the mouth. And I mean, we were 13, 14 years old. No, maybe about 11 or 12. And he kissed his dog in the mouth. Now, you don't need me to tell you where dogs' nose and mouth has been all day long. Especially when you can actually see a dog sniff and lick themselves in all kind of places. But yeah, Alvin he had no problem kissing his dog in the mouth. But again, Alvin wasn't black. But if you're black and you let your dog lick you in the face, we will judge you. And last but not least, number 15. If you put sugar on your grits, we will judge you. Listen, sugar is not meant to be on grits. Sugar is not meant to be on grits. Sugar is not meant to be on grits. You know what goes on grits? Salt, butter, maybe pepper, but no, sugar doesn't belong on grits. And yes, if you put sugar on grits, we will judge you. And let me start by saying this. I have two friends, fellow podcasters. These are my boys. King Germ from Pod and Saved Our Marriage and Baylor from Baylor the Great for President. Two excellent guys, two great podcasts. They both put sugar in their grits. And I judge them. I don't hold it against them or hold it over their heads. But no, if they ever came and had breakfast with me, I'm not letting them put sugar on grits. I'm going to knock the sugar off their hands. I'm going to knock it out of their hands. I'm going to knock it off the table. You're not putting sugar on grits around me. No, it's not happening. Yeah, we judge people like that. And you can say it's not fair, but again, sugar's not meant for grits. And I know. Baylor once told me, he said, well, it's on the box. It says, to add sugar. No, I don't care what it says on the box. Black people, we will judge you if you put sugar on grits. Bottom line. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for me. Thank you for checking out this edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast. You can check the podcast out. We have our own YouTube channel. Go to youtube.com, 12 Kyle podcast. Like, share, subscribe. Be sure to subscribe and then hit the notification button so that you can get notifications when episodes drop. The great thing about the YouTube channel is that we have both audio and video episodes of every podcast, as well as clips. If you're on social media, follow me on social media at 12Kyle, 12KYLE, 12 Kyle podcast as well on Twitter X, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and also TikTok. We have our own TikTok page as well. If you feel so inclined and you want to send us a couple of dollars, hey, we'll take it. Hit us up on Cash App, $TWELVEKYLE. And also, wherever you're listening, if you look there, you see a link in the description box, and it says merch. Click that link. You have access to purchase merch from the 12 Kyle podcast. We have t-shirts, we have hoodies, we have mugs, a little bit of everything for everybody at a very low price. Again, that's going to do it for me. I am your boy 12 Kyle. I'll catch you guys next time. 5,000.